Hi, I'm Zach, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Klein ET300 circuit breaker finder. Stay tuned to find out why you need one, or maybe why you don't. I'm here today to equip you with the tools and techniques needed to maintain and repair a house. So let's get to it. Today we're going to be talking about a tool that pretty much every electrician is going to have in their toolkit. But if you're not an electrician, don't run away. This could still be really useful to you. A few years ago, I bought a building that had been added onto several different times over the past 100 or so years, and there were several different panel boxes scattered all throughout the building. And whenever I wanted to do work on a light fixture or replace an outlet or cut power to anything, I had to pretty much run through all those breaker panels and hope to find the right breaker at some point. Usually it ended up being the very last breaker that was the one I wanted. So I started searching for a tool to help with that process and came across the Klein circuit breaker finder. I have a few things I want to share with you that I've learned while using this over the past couple years, but before we do that, why don't we just go ahead and actually use it and see exactly how it works. So there are two main components to the circuit breaker finder. There's the transmitter and the receiver. In order for this to work, there has to be power to the outlet. It can't be a dead circuit. So I'm going to plug the transmitter into the outlet here above the workbench. And I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a little red light that comes on to indicate that we have power. Now let's go down to the panel box and find the breaker that this receptacle is powered by. So here we are in the basement by the panel box, and we're going to tap the button on the side of the receiver to turn it on. That'll turn a little red light on and we're ready to go to work. So we start out by scanning once down across all the breakers for it to learn the panel, and then we can go through again and actually scan for our breaker. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Oh, we got a little beep back here. All right, and okay, I already know as we look at number 6 and number 6, we know that that does in fact go to the shed. So let's go talk about some of the upsides and downsides and kind of the quirks of this tool. So this circuit breaker finder really takes an overwhelming task and breaks it down and makes it more possible and a little less time consuming, especially if you're by yourself. But it does have some limitations. Really, accuracy is going to be the biggest one. When we ran that test just a minute ago, it took us to the exact breaker. However, that doesn't always happen. Especially with the space-saving breakers, which are half the width of normal breakers, it usually gets you within 2 or 3 breakers, and then you have to just manually check each one from there to figure out which is the breaker you're looking for. With that limited accuracy in mind, it could be just as easy to do what we did before we had these, and that is carry around a small radio, plug it into the outlet you're working on, turn it on high, and go down to the panel box and start flipping breakers till the radio shuts off. Let's talk about where this tool really shines. As I already mentioned, my original need for this tool came when I had 6 or 8 different panels to choose from and nowhere to start, nothing was labeled. I didn't even know which panel box to start looking in. So that came in really handy for that application. Also, there are a few adapters that come with this. Certainly the transmitter can plug right into a regular receptacle, or there is one of these adapters to go from a light bulb socket to a receptacle fitting that the transmitter can plug into. And then it also comes with a pigtail that you can clip these alligator clips on a set of bare wires and then plug the transmitter into that. The location of the switch is easy to get to, but sometimes a little too easy. You can kind of see it right in there. It's covered up by this black rubber shroud. And sometimes if you're carrying this around in your tool bag, it is really easy to bump this on. Thankfully, it does have an auto shut-off feature that keeps the 9-volt battery in here from going completely dead. One last thing to consider that I already touched on a little bit was that the circuit needs to be live. Everything needs to be working in order for this to work right. If the circuit doesn't have power to it, you're going to need what's called a tone generator, which actually puts a small electrical signal through that circuit, and then there's a tracer very similar to this that will help you locate the breaker or even the wire in the wall. That can be another really handy tool. With a retail price of about $40 on Amazon at the time of shooting this video, this is one of those tools that if you know you have a use for it and you know you'll use it quite often, it's well worth the price you pay. It'll save you tons of time and frustration and aggravation in finding the right circuit breaker. If, however, you're not a professional electrician or you're not sure you'd use it that often, it may just not be worth it to spend the money on something that you're not going to use that often. Like I said, a radio can get the job done in a pinch. That wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about future videos just like this one. And be sure to join us next time when we'll bring you more tools and techniques to get the job done.